Good evening everyone, good evening Goodyear, good evening Miguda, na habari kwa wale wote ambao wanatutazama kwa saizi popote mlipo. Tunawakaribisha katika mdahalo wa leo ama katika mazungumzo ya leo. Tunataka kuzungumza yaliyojiri na hata zile habari ambao zimepatiwa kipaumbele katika jukwaa la siasa zetu za Kenya. Miguda, habari ya jioni. Lakini
niko salama kakangu, nimeshinda vyema. Jioni yangu iko vyema kabisa. Ni vile sasa huku leo kuna joto sana na tunavumilia.
Kwani unavumilia joto?
Hakuna, unajua wakati wa ukielekea usiku huwa tumezoea baridi. Sasa wakati unapata kama tumevaa sweta ama tuko na jaketi, na sasa unapata wakati huu hakuna ya kuvaa sweta ama jaketi. Unashangaa ni joto, na ni joto waje wakati wa usiku. Sasa kitu kama hiyo pahali tuko tumezoea joto usiku. Sasa ukiona joto usiku kama kwani leo nini mbaya? Kitu kama hiyo. Sasa nasema inabidi tuvumilie tu, tumetupata leo.
Okay, na kuelewa. Kuna salamu hapo kwa Goodyear na kusalimia, sijui kama umeona.
Siwezi ona, lakini ni vizuri umenieleza. Wacha tu hata mi nichukue muda huu kumsalimia Goodyear na pia kumkaribisha katika kipindi yetu. Na najua vile tunaendelea hivi tutaelewana tu vizuri, lakini ni mimi niseme ya kwamba pahali niko sijavuka popote. Kitu kama ikifanyika nitaweka wazi ya kwamba nimeenda, lakini niko pahali. Na vile pia unajua hii kipindi chetu Brother Benson, kwa unajua hii channel yetu, unajua kwamba sisi wale ambao tumechukua sides. Kwa mfano unapata kila mtu tuko non partisan. Sasa nadhani ile wakati nitavuka sitaonekana.
Okay, sawa. Gibson Kona, nimekusikia. Ndajaribu ndachanganisha ndimi hapa, ndazungumza kwa Kiswahili vile vile Kiingereza, zote mbili. Na mbona inakuchukua muda sana, labda ukisema kwamba utavuka, yani tangu ulete maneno kwamba wewe nyinyi kama watu wa ODM, unaona kama inakuchukua sana mara mingi, yani kutueleza kwamba bado hujavuka? Unaamini maneno ambayo unasema iaminiki, ama kwa nini unasema hivyo?
Nasema hivyo kwa sababu kulingana na vile marafiki wetu walinijibu, ni kana kwamba hawakupata kunielewa vizuri. Unapata mtu kama wewe, Makobura, Joseph, vile walinipatia jawabu kana kwamba walinielewa kile nasema. Na unapata rafiki yetu Judith na rafiki yetu Gipscon au Goodyear, na vile ni kama hawakuelewa kitu nilikuwa nimesema. Sasa hapo ndipo unapata kama ni vizuri waeleze. Unaweza kaa pale pamoja, lakini pengine wamechukulia vile walijibu, lakini si hivyo. Ni vizuri ya kwamba waelewe. Unapata sasa ni kama kwa mfano napata rafiki yetu anaweza kutafuta tu inbox akwambia kwamba kwani uliamu, kwani uko chama. Lakini pia ni uzuri juu unapata kuna zile mkutano na manufaa za chama ambaye mimi sijahudhuria na sijazipata. Sasa kuna haja watu wajue kwamba ni kwa chama, lakini sichangii chochote na sipati faida chochote kwa chama. Sasa ni vizuri wajue kwamba wazi ilikuwa tu mazungumzo, na wewe nilikueleza kwamba mazungumzo, but wakati tumechukua mwenendo tutaweka wazi pia mambo itakuwa hivyo. Lakini kwa sasa ni vizuri waelewa kwamba mimi bado ni mwananchi yako huru, na kitambulisho changu hata kura changu kiko huru, na niko open for any signing.
Asante sana. Unajua wewe ni mwanasheria na pia unaelewa sheria, kwa sababu unasipata mara mingi huwa ikifika pale ambapo tunataka kutegua jambo ama tunataka kujua mengi kuhusu sheria, unapata kwamba tunahitaji ushauri wako ama unatusaidia kwa kueleza vipengee mbalimbali vya sheria ama za katiba zetu za Kenya, niseme hivyo. Na katika hiyo katiba ambao wewe unatusaidia kutengua maneno, unajua pia inakupatia uhuru wewe kujiunga na chama chochote ama pia kuwa na uhuru wa kuongea. Unaona, na inalingana tu na wewe mwenyewe kama binafsi, utakuwa unaangalia kwamba mimi kama kiongozi labda wapi naona kwamba mawazo langu na fikra zangu hizo vitu zipo katika, ukiangalia katika vyama ambazo sisi tunazo katika nchi zetu, hizi vyama za siasa, na uko huru kujiunga nacho chama popote tunataka. Hebu tuone Gibson Khan anasema nini. Anasema Miguda, just declare then forget, we will understand, we just don't like being blinded. Okay. Okay, asante sana. Thank you so much, Mr. Miguda, and thank you so much for everyone who is in the comment section. We are here today again to talk about some few issues that are trending. Actually, today I came across this. I don't know, Miguda, whether you are aware or you've come across this news that crisis at the ODM party. ODM member begins petition calling for resignation of Oburu Odinga. And this is something that we talked about yesterday. And remember, we read the constitution of ODM, especially when it comes to appointment of a party leader in the event that the party leader who was then some occurrence has happened, you know. So there are ways, the process that should be done. And if you listen to some of the live party members, they feel that ODM was formed under democracy and constitutionalism. So which means in its operation, in everything that they do, or in any process that they want to undertake, the guiding factor or the path that they should follow, it should be that path of constitutionalism and the Constitution, because that is the main core, the reason why it was formed. But now some live members feel that that spirit was violated in a way or was not followed. So they feel that they've given an ultimatum of 30 days. I'm reading from, you know, so if that one is not dealt with, they will resign as live party members. I can quote, "It is deeply inappropriate for some leaders to speak with pride and boldly declare that they are legitimate in office, while the party constitution, particularly Article 6, 22B, has been blatantly violated. Such deviance undermines accountability, fairness, respect for the due process." The petition read further. So there's something that they've petitioned. The live members want that such conduct erodes public confidence, delegitimates the party organs, and contradicts the role of the law ODM has championed for years. They now want Oburu Odinga to resign from all party leadership positions. They are also calling for an urgent national delegates convention to address what they describe as governance crisis and to restore legitimacy to the party structure. The petition further demands for full respect and recognition of live members and adherence to their rights in the party decision making. Yesterday we spoke about that, and I wish Laban Misiani was here when I raised this about the process, and I posed the question of the legitimate and the legitimacy of the position of the party leader of ODM, Oburu Odinga. Did he follow the due process as the Article 622B of Orange Democratic Movement? Miguda, what do you think?
In my opinion, this could be this could be the end of ODM. And when Oburu Odinga was declared the party leader of ODM after the demise of former Raila Amolo Odinga, the people, actually, the leadership in that party, they embraced it and said that they have confirmed Oburu Odinga to be the party leader after the demise of Raila Amolo Odinga. When people went to Mombasa, because we knew that it was supposed to be the NDC to confirm the entire leadership, little did we knew that at the end of the day, the anniversary part of it was to confirm the Oburu Odinga and David Padidas to be the official members. To that extent, that also brought mixed reaction within the party members. And the reason why I'm saying this could be the end of ODM is because ODM, from its conception, has been known as a party that adhere to the rule of law, that practice the spirit of constitutionalism and also social justice. To this extent, whereby activities can be undertaken by people anyhow without involving or reference to the constitution, without reference to the law. To me, this could be the end of ODM because there are people who are comfortable having Oburu as a party leader, and there are people who are uncomfortable because their certificates or their nominations are at risk. It has been threatened by the fact that Oburu Odinga can be micromanaged by other top organs. Remember, there are people who have been micromanaging Baba when it comes to the issuance of certificates, and they could even tell about in the constituency XYZ, these are the people supposed to be given certificates. Now, people, they still very people going to micromanage Oburu. How sure is anyone that is gonna get the certificate? To that extent, I believe that this could be the end of ODM, and people only respected former Prime Minister, the late Raila Amolo Odinga. People never respected people like Wanga or Oburu Odinga, or that's why you saw Babu Owino was very unequivocal in front of the entire leadership of ODM that Oburu Odinga, I respect you as party leader, but even me, in near future, I will vie for this position of the party leader. Do you think Babu could dare tell Raila that one in front of Raila when Raila could be alive? No, Babu could not even dare tell Raila that. But now, because there's no Raila, he can dare to tell Oburu. To me, that could be the end of ODM because now people will be like, no, if you can't listen to me, I can't listen to you. If you can't take my views into consideration, I can't take your views into consideration because each and every person will have a view. And to me, I can just see if the party which has been known to be the champion for democracy and champion for the rule of law has now has now conducted more so is of the crucial activities like the election of the leadership in a manner that is not adherence to the reference of the constitution and the rule of law. To that extent, I can just tell you that to me, this is the end of ODM, and it's just a matter of time. We will see maybe they will split into two, but there is no strong ODM going forward.
All right, thank you so much. And you know, something that I really like about here is sometimes when we bring about issues that are happening and we try to look at quite much differently, later we come to realize that we are almost in the same path with other conversation. You find that we share so many thoughts, especially with majority of some podcast and analysis that we do, because like I can remember yesterday we raised this yesterday, and Laban Misiani told me that during the swearing in there was an advocate Sewe who did that to say this is the issue. You can swear somebody in, yet the process will be questioned. You know, yes, that is the role of an advocate to make, but like, was the due process followed? So that is something that is being raised here. So that is something. Miguda, also, there's something that is happening again here. And these are just news that are trending today. Mutula Kilonzo Jr., the good governor, says that I quote, "It is extremely difficult, almost impossible for Kalonzo Musyoka to unseat President President Ruto. Ruto controls power, machinery, and state resources. Kalonzo is financially constrained and simply does not have the firepower needed to take on a sitting president. That is a quote, Mutula Kilonzo. If Mutula Kilonzo, a governor of Wiper Party and a close ally of Kalonzo Musyoka, is doubting his presidency, what about other people who are not close and wanted to join in? Or what does this one signal send?
Politics is very tricky. First, this is view is entitled to that view.
Yeah.
And does not justify that his view is correct, because Jr. has predicted many things in the past, but all of them haven't come to pass.
Yeah.
So we cannot believe his statement. That is opinion, and he's entitled to that opinion. What I can just say is that many things can happen. Maybe he just want to justify his next move, because if he can work with Ruto, he want to justify okay, I'm working with Ruto because of the statement I made. So there are some times, you understand, Ruto went to his county and they were there for like 2 days, 3 days. They might have shared a lot in common going forward as a political politician. Now, for him to justify his next move, must also what we call that is what you are holding something, or you escape. That statement should be like a scapegoat. He's he's looking for a scapegoat to get out of the opposition, the opposition. So to me, I can just see this statement as a mere political statement, and because it is not the power, money that elect a president. A president is being elected at the polling station by the people through a ballot. Not that because you have money now they are going to elect you. And the power. Remember, Raila had power when Uhuru supported Raila, but Ruto was declared. So how are you going to be declared? You talked about the process, but declaration matters. So to me, it is not. It's too early to judge Kalonzo Musyoka that he got no know-how to take William Ruto head on, because you never know. Anything can happen between now and 2026. We are just 1 year down the line. Anything can happen. And even you remember, anything can happen, including reasons why we can go for reasons why we can declare the seat vacant. Anything can happen. So if those things happen, Ruto can resign or can become insane. It can be incapacitated. So if anything happen, Kindiki against, so me, I cannot rule him out that because of finance constraints or because of wherewithal that he cannot take Ruto head on. That is Mutula's statement entitled to, and I think it's just a mere political statement just to get en route to Ruto in 2027, so that whenever he'll be supporting Ruto, he'll have to convince his constituents that Kalonzo got no financial capacity, Kalonzo got nowhere withal to take on. So as for me and my constituents, we are supporting the current president. But let me tell you, Kalonzo can take on William Ruto because if he has numbers, if you know the strength of the political contest is the people.
It's the people.
If you have the people by your side, then you are very confident. You can take anybody. It's only people can just manipulate your votes, but Kalonzo can convince. In these circumstances, if the entire Mount Kenya people decided to vote for Kalonzo is coming with almost a united constituents, Mount Kenya. And even people of Kambani can support other parts of the country. So Kalonzo will be a force to be reckoned, even if he cannot take William Ruto home, but he will be a force to be reckoned. So I can just say that is a mere statement politically made by the good governor of Makueni, Mutula Kilonzo Jr.
Okay, because as we said, and you've said it, explain it very well, that especially everybody is entitled to their opinion because our constitution allows that the freedom of expression. But something that you also have to understand in politics, this kind of statement are very, very impactful, especially when they come from people who are deemed to be very close to you. So when you make such statement, you find that those who are your opponents will be using this, even because you know that in politics we have propaganda machinery, and anything that would make you appear weak, or anything that would make you to feel that your confidence or the people who are closer to you do not believe in your leadership and you winning, that's become part of their political campaign to decampaign you with. So, as much as it might be his entitled opinion, but the political or the political bandits and those who do analysis look it in different angle. They might give a third eye analysis and say that, okay, as usually, you know, our politics is quite like transactional, especially, you know, when such like happens, people will say, because even if you go to the comment section, majority of Kenyans say that, oh, huu ni kama bahasha imetembea. You know, those kind of like statements that usually comes from our politics. So that is what is there. Again, Mr. Miguda, there was a viral video that was going around in the social media from Kisumu, especially from Kibuye, of a lady called Nyaramba. This viral video was showing Nyaramba insulting or violating, you know, very violently, beating a woman, and the Kisumu Central Sub-County police, I think, arrested her, and I think she's in Kodiaga. And you see the violence, especially that usually happens when people disagree. What can be done, especially if you disagree politically, ideology? It goes a point whereby people have to fight and people have to use maybe crude weapons to make sure that they discipline those who they don't agree with. Hello, Miguda, can you hear me? All right, thank you so much. I am still waiting for Miguda. So this is what was happening, but from the sources, I'm told she will still remain in the remand at Kodiaga because she was denied bail. But when you look at the story of Nyarambe, especially for those who are coming from Kisumu in Kibuye market, it is a long story, and the politicals and what has always been happening. There was also an issue of a fundraising that was supposed to be, I think, like the CS for finance, Mbeere, was supposed to be the chief guest, and people were not agreeing on that because some traders felt that it was not a fundraiser for the traders, but it was for political mileage for the current Kisumu Central Member of Parliament, that is Dr. Oron. So there are so many politics that are going in Kisumu, especially around Kibuye and Kisumu Central. But for those who have history, especially if you follow the news from Kisumu, especially to do with the Kibuye market, Nyaramba, his name has always been mentioned so many times. So we will see what will come out of that, and I think she will be arraigned in court. But this is what I usually say: if you don't agree with somebody in any ideology, there is no need for you to insult that person to an extent whereby you violently injure them or insult them in a way. So sometimes you resent, because like the law will catch up with you, and you know, what is going to be very worse about this Kisumu issue is politically motivated. So those who are your competitors, and this is an opportunity for them. So it will be very much intense, and because especially when it comes to political competition, especially in that area. So that is something that also we will be following up at. Something also has happened, I call it the creation of dynasty. The creation of dynasty, this one bring us to Tanzania. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday when, Miguda, how are you? Yesterday, the Tanzania president, that is Madam Suluhu Hassan, appointed members of cabinet. But surprisingly, in her appointment, she appointed her daughter, to be President Samia Suluhu appoints her daughter, Wanu Amer, as Deputy Minister for Education, and her son-in-law, Mohamed Machegerwa, as a Minister of Health. Kwa familia yake amewapoint kwa cabinet, and I don't know what might have informed that decision. And my question is, does it mean that when you look at the entire Tanzania, they're not qualified people that you have just decided to bring in your family members? And I don't know whether they have what we call the conflict interest, because just in case if one of those your family members make a mistake or violate the law, how are you going to deal with them? Are you going to sympathize with them, or are you so? And this is something that usually happen mostly in our African contemporary political world, whereby the politicians, especially those that are in power, tend to appoint or tend to give positions to their immediate family members. The other day, we were talking about a president who has been ruling an African country for one of the African country. We talked about here the other day. Hey, Hillary Koech, habari gani? Thank you so much for joining. Wamunyoro is finished. Okay, that's okay. Here we say your opinion counts, and you know, the battle is drawn. We are going to see from next week. We are going to see who is going to win, and that is the only statistics that we are waiting, and we will see. So I was talking about the Tanzania. So you ask yourself that the whole Republic of Tanzania, does it mean that there are no qualified members of the public who could be appointed to those positions, especially like bringing your family and relatives in, you know, and hold this position? So maybe they qualified, but it has always been a norm. Hey, Laban, thank you so much for coming. Yesterday, there's something that we were talking about, and I mentioned about that there was the legitimacy of Oburu Odinga as the chair, as the party leader. And today we just say that the life members of ODM have sent petition questioning the process that Oburu was appointed, and they want national delegate conference so that they can go and talk about that. And they've given an ultimatum of 30 days, my brother. I don't know what you are saying about that. Migoda, how are you doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm back.
Okay, thank you so much for coming back. I just spoke about the issue of Nyaramba. If you are following or you are updated about a videos that is going viral, especially in the internet or at Kisumu, especially Kibuye market, of one lady insulting other women, you know, violently. And from the sources, the police in Kisumu Central Sub-County arrested her earlier in the day, and she was also denied bail, so she will stay at I think Kodiaga prison as she waits for the hearing. At Brother Ben, democracy that Baba left is not for Tanzania. Kindly let Tanzania be a monarch. Yes, thank you. Yes, they are still in the process of realizing how democracy works, especially in Tanzania. But when it comes to appointing family members into position, it's not only in Tanzania. We've always seen it in even our country. There are those who are very, very close to these positions, whether you are in, you come to the governor and all that, they tend to make sure that the people who are given positions are the immediate or the cross relatives. So that is also what is happening in Tanzania. So yes, Miguda, maybe if you can mention something about the Tanzania president, Honorable High Excellency Suluhu Samia appointing the daughter and the son-in-law to the cabinet.
It's worsening day and day. The moment Samia was sworn in, because I think she has realized that she was alone at the top, and now she needs to bring people who are closer to him to power, so that in case of her exit, they can occupy the power. You know, she's also being advised that this African, so you don't just leave power in that manner. So you need to bring people close. What Museveni is doing in Uganda, I think still they are still far away. The Tanzanians are still far away from democracy, and even what happened during the election is just a test. But they are not even close to where Kenyans have made a steps. So Tanzanians, I think they're still very far away. I don't know who will come back to rescue them. It's up to them to wake up. They should roll their sleeves and also ensure that they fight for themselves. And I like what there was a certain someone in podcasts who said that Tanzanians were initiated that there is no tribalism, that there is ujamaa. That is why you can do all those atrocities and get away with them. But in Kenya, we are diverse, and it is recognized into our constitution, the diversity of the Kenyan people, the culture, the language, is very recognized, and the customs, and even the customary law. So you people can decide and divide among the community and fight against you. And you have seen even our elections are based on the tribal line, whereby some two communities merge together and fight against other communities, unlike Tanzania. So I think they still have a long way to go. And if they really want democracy, they should be ready to do many things and a lot of sacrifices to be where people are. You can admire Kenya when you're in Tanzania, but you don't know which routes Kenya actually followed to be where they are today. Because you understand the Kenyan people, from the time we got our independence, 1963, people have been fighting. There have been people who have been like Jem Kariuki, Pioga Pinto, Tom Joseph Mboya. Some people have been shot in cold blood. Some people have also been detained without trial. Remember those eras of detained? We have been a single party state. We fought for multiple democracy. Then we came even to the constitution. And it was never easy to bring the constitution in 2010 because remember there was also a Wako draft in 2005, which was rejected. Then later it came with 2010. So it has been a journey of struggle, a journey whereby people have been died. They have said the history of Kenya has been written on people's blood. So until Tanzania realized that if indeed they want democracy, it's never easy. So it's never easy.
All right. Thank you so much. And let me take this opportunity to thank Grant. Thank you so much for joining. And I know you are from Kisumu, and we are trying our level best to make sure that we are keeping our viewers updated on what is happening all over the country. And so much is happening in Kisumu concerning the Kibuye and Nyaramba, and the fundraising was supposed to be taking place that is taking a political side. Brother Ben, media, the game of employing relatives is normal in certain parts of the world and is not a big deal. It is a safeguard. Yes, it is true. And I can remember even the first time that the president for United States, that is Donald Trump, his first time he came into the office. His son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and the daughter Ivanka were the chief staffs during his first time in State House. So, and so many people question at the end of the day, they have the powers to employ who they have. So it is a norm. I agree with you 100%. I don't know. Also, there's something that I came across, and this is Obina. When Obina show I was watching, and then Obina was talking about. Remember the day that he hosted Rigathi Gachagua, and how that interview went viral. So today, like he was opening up about some of the calls that he got, and he said that he got some called, and there was we call it what he talked about of a squad that was maybe wanted to go after him, and he got even a call from one of the journalists, whom he did not mention, who stays abroad, and told him, okay, be very careful on what you do. But at the end of the story, he said that the president said that, okay, leave that guy alone. And he said that information of leave that guy, when the president was saying this, came from somebody who is insider that say that. So it tells you actually how there's some of the things that do happen without maybe the president knowing. The people who are managing the president, you do something, or the people who are managing the leaders, you do something that at the end of the day will taint your boss, not in the right way. So from him, he said that if the president could have not intervened, maybe what could have been? It could be a different story.
Yeah, I agree with you that there's a problem.
Yeah.
There are people who are managing the leader. You find out that there are some activities or action which are being undertaken without the knowledge of the leader. So
Yeah.
after they've been done, now it's when you realize, oh, I've committed atrocities. Now it's like he's summoning the team and warning them. You don't need to go to this extent. There's sometimes you can find that your opponent has been arrested, has been killed without your knowledge. Then they will tell you, okay, boss, we have done it. We have done it for you. Because if you could have not do it, today you could not be the president. I remember the time when we were on the street, demonstrations.
Yeah.
The people were saying the reasons why they shot the people. If they could have not shot the people, today William Ruto could not be in the state house. So you see, the way they were reported the boss. Sometimes these instructions don't come from the boss. They come from the people decide by themselves. But also remember, these people who are managing the bosses, some of them don't take their time. To them, anybody who's having a contrary opinion, that's an enemy. And if you meet that person, you either kill him, arrest him, or punish him. But that is not the case. But remember, when Obina hosted Gachagua, and Obina was very clear, there was a disclaimer that all the opinions are solely for the guest, not the media. But now you are going for the host instead of going for Gachagua. You see, that's why they're making it wrong. Now they're like, Obina gave Gachagua platform. Not to them, this some of these people who are handling leaders, they are ignorant. To them, they tell you that, okay, who told you to give him that platform? Who told you to give him that platform? But they are forgetting we have free media in the constitution, and they are forgetting that the free movement, you can move from Nairobi to Amunyoro. So you are very right, and what Obina said is right. When President Ruto intervened, that was the right thing to do as the president. Sometimes intervene for your handlers. Some of your handlers does not understand the basic rights and the fundamental freedoms. Some of your handlers doesn't understand that we are doing what we call oversight. We are doing what we call criticism. Remember when Sifuna was speaking, they told Sifuna that tutakujia, or they told people like Wageni that we will, if we can't kill you physically, tutawekea mchele, sumu, we'll poison you. So these people, they will threaten you to stop doing what we call critics. They will threaten you to stop oversight. They don't understand that is your role. And even Ruto knows very well that when it's being asked questions of service delivery, economic and social rights to the people, Ruto knows very well that is the role of the minority in the house. And by the time the minority is questioning the government in the floor of the house, no one can go and arrest minority leader Junet Mohammed that because you have questioned Ruto, now we are going to arrest you. Because you have questioned about Adani deal, now we are going to kill you. No, that is not how it should be done. These people who are handling our leaders, I can just say that most of them are ignorant. Most of them, they act on emotion that anything that has threatened a leader, they will take action and they tell them, okay, because we did this, now we are the president. I think it's high time. What Ruto did was very good to intervene. Leaders intervene. And remember, these people are not enemies. You perceive to be enemies. These people are buddies. It's only that they are busy doing their stuffs. But when times comes for them to, when their interests converge, actually, they will work together. So you, as handlers and supporters, you need to be very careful on action you are taking against your opponent, because like what happened in Kasipul Kabondo, that person was killed. What if tomorrow you find Boyd Were and Rocco having tea together and you have lost your life? So I think the issue between President Ruto and Gachagua should be left between Ruto and Gachagua. And the issue of people should be included in their affairs. They know what happens. They were buddies. They know where the rain start beating them. They know what went sour, and they know how they will resolve it. The issue of the people should be left exclusively, and no one should interfere with the people.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes. Yes, it was. It talks about, it was more of funny and a bit about the traditional folks. Yes, it was. It was a very nice one. And thank you for this, Mita. Yeah, sometimes you have to, you have to look at, you have to know what is around, as you have to do your groundwork well, and, comes with everything that, those are very pertinent issues, because this one also reminds me of the same Obina, Obina show, when he was hosting Sami Kioko, the same thing that you about the handlers, especially of the leaders, where when he was still on the show, he got some message. I think he got a message and call barring him from talking about what is happening, mentioning the name of SKM, and also, and after that, the attorney from the county also served him with the letter. So what usually happens is this, especially like this podcast, especially we can be privileged to host somebody, and our main work here is to get information out. What is the interest of the public? What the public wants to know? Because when you are hosting somebody, one, you host him because there's something that the public wants to know, especially your niche that you have, that they also want to be explained some of the things, because this is our Kenya, and everything that runs in Kenya is ours. So majority of those who are handling the big bosses, they just only want positive things to be talked about their bosses. But remember, they are human beings. There's nobody who has always been a perfect 100%, including us who are talking here. There are those weaknesses that we have, the weaknesses and the strength. So sometimes, in politics, especially, nobody is going to concentrate on your strength. Nobody's going to concentrate on your strengths, because, like, if you're competing with them, why should they concentrate on your strength? I mean, because that is your stronghold. So I will always try my level best to attack you on your weaknesses. And how does this one happen? This one happens especially when you come to this platform, because we know we have people who are watching, and we will ask those questions. And how are you going to respond? So the handlers, na pia baada ya kumuua ama ukimfanyia jambo mbaya, itakusaidia nini? Yeah, so I don't know, it is something that a conversation that should be ongoing, especially because remember also this podcast, these are for accountability and transparency purposes. If you look at parliament, some of parliament we have today, Mr. Miguda, is one of the worst parliament, especially when you talk about the parliamentary democracy. They've not done much, especially as compared to other parliaments that we've had. You cannot compare it to the parliament where Marende was. Yeah, you cannot compare it, because some of the discussion that remember there was a day that the business of the day had to be halted just to discuss about Gachagua in parliament, So there are so many things that sometimes do happen, but now we know. So the handlers, you should handle us with the care. We are not here to kind of like bring you down, but we are here to get the information that everybody wants to listen to. So even if you are handling your bosses, please let them handle them well. For that, we give President kudos for doing this, for coming in and say that, okay, let him do what he does. He alifanya ziliisha. So Mr. President, hapo naye tunakupatia 10/10 kwa kukuja kulingana na ile ya Obina. So hapo tunampatia kongole. Asante sana Mr. President kwa kusave Obina, si ndio Miguda?
Hapo nimesema it is good Mr. Ruto intervene. Yeah. That's how it should be. And I know there was a time I said here that because we know what happened on Albert Ojwang death, And we said maybe the suspect, the chief suspect, could have not decided to do things on his way because he's the boss there, without the consent of the president. Now the president was caught unaware that really to this extent, and that's why things went south. So many things have happened without the consent of the president, but there are some also people saying he was aware. But like this case of Obina, I just cited the case of Ojwang because you know the way it was handled. The big man in the office decided to do 1, 2, 3. I remember the president was not aware, and they ended up having Ojwang as dead. Now, when the president came to intervene in the case of Obina, it is proper to do so because you find some people writing for you SMS that tutakuua, tutakushika. Who is he to take your life? Because you have just, to them, there's a problem. That's what I'm telling you. The handlers are having a problem because they just want you to be positive to the boss.
To the boss.
But do not critique or not oversight. And remember, even the oversight issue is not about the boss. We oversight the government. We don't oversight Ruto. We oversight the entire government. How are you operating? But to them, when we talked about the issue of SHA, roads, they will think that we are attacking Ruto. No, it is the entire government which have a mandate to ensure that the service delivery reach the people, the economic consumption rise reach the people. Not to them. Those handlers, they think it is Ruto. When you write something, even if you type something on X, they think you are referring to Ruto. They don't know oversight is not limited to parliament. Oversight is beyond what we are doing, and even that's why in this podcast we are doing oversight. And no one has even go and attempt to arrest Ruto because it's not working. So they should understand. So this issue, when the president came and intervened, and now Obina is doing his podcast without any fear. That's how we should live as Kenyan people. And remember also.
And he's taking care of his children. Remember, Obina has children.
So if you could have killed Obina now, who could be taking care of people like Lola? Lola and who?
It's Lola, Ada, Brianna, and the big boss.
Liron,
yes.
Who could be taking care of those kids? And they're young. Look at their age. So, vitisho na they should not allow Kenyans to be orphans by force, whereby you are forcing young kids to be orphans, and Obina is doing a great job taking care of them. Even you cannot take care of them. You cannot give them that life Obina is giving them. So this issue, handlers trying to silence people, for what? Like you have said, for what now? If you kill somebody today, so what? What have you gained?
And just remember, sometimes you need to look at this. Sometimes I usually go back and see. I've always gone back to look at the life of Obina from where this guy is. This guy has hustled to see him where he is right now. It's not a joke. I saw there was a video that I saw. He was a dancer with all kind of manner of hairstyle, colored, and I say, Eshimu hustle ya mtu yani. People hustle from far to see that guy where he is right now. It is not that something that came the other day. That guy has gone through a lot. And Laban Misiani, when somebody does something that is good, we have to agree. If what Obina said that president did, then hata kama kwa Kiswahili tunasema usikue mchoyo wa fadhila. Usikue mchoyo wa fadhila kumwambia asante ama kumpongeza kwa mambo ambayo amefanya kama ni kizuri. Hiyo hatutakuwa wachoyo wa fadhila. Thank you so much. And there's also these issues that happened. Before we go to Mbeere, we will be going to Mbeere. Bonny Alwale today was kicked out of Bonny Alwale was kicked out of the after the Senate. This is after there was a bitter exchange, especially regarding what happened to the young men who were in captive or were abducted and they were in Tanzania. So they were arguing it took the efforts of the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to make sure that they come home. This is the reason why this was following the reason why he was sent out of the house following the heated exchange that sparked between Boni Alwale remarks suggesting that former President Uhuru Kenyatta, not President Ruto, was the one who intervened to secure the release of 2 Kenyan activists allegedly abducted in Uganda. The tension began when Senator Khalwale rose to question the government official account of how the activists were freed. According to him, reliable sources indicate the former President Uhuru played a certain role in negotiating their return. His comments immediately triggered uproar from senators allied to Kenya Kwanza. That one was something that was going to happen. So that was just by the way in the Senate, but we had to just let you know what happened and the reason why Boni Halwale was kicked out of the Senate by the good speaker, I would say, Amason Kingi. Thank you so much, everyone, for our brief session. And right now, we know what is happening. There's a door-to-door campaign. You know, the campaigns in Mbeere is one of the most expensive campaign, especially by election, that has happened. And with all manner of political PR, especially from the political class, either opposition or the government. Yeah, because there's always ways in which the political class will tend to fool, I would say, the voters, especially to make them feel that they belong. And Biguda, the reason why I'm saying that, it is not the first time that is happening. When we are nearing election or when we are having election, there are kind of activities that the politicians tend to show us to make us feel that, or make the people feel that they are together with them. Yeah, we call it the campaigns that are being used to fool gullible voters, to make them feel that we are part of you. And the reason why I'm saying this, yesterday we saw Rigathi Gachagua offering one-on-one campaign, a door-to-door campaign, and to some extent, they would have a lunch or breakfast with the residents. And the people that they usually have this lunch with are the people who are living below the poverty line. And you find that when they are taking those tea or having those whatever lunch or get together, I doubt 100% if the food they are eating or that tea they are drinking or they are taking is prepared by these people. I doubt 100% because leaders are also very cautious about their life because they know they have their enemies, especially in a high intensive campaign like the one we have in Mbeere. You cannot tell me that Deputy Rigathi Gachagua, former Deputy President, would just walk in a home and find those people eating and just decide to eat or just decide to have a tea. It must be calculated that this is the place that we are going to visit. And that is the point of our conversation. And also we saw Deputy President Kithure Kindiki also visited some family members. They were having tea and enjoying and dancing and say that we are telling you that we are together. But does that one change their lives? By doing all those political PR at the end of the day, what changes? Do they get good services? Do they get those roads? Do they get accessibility to good health care? So that is what we are going to talk about, Mr. Miguda. What is your take on that?
First, let me concur with you by saying it is true. The foods which they were consuming actually were not prepared by those people. I remember when sometimes Raila used to come to our place, they usually send chefs in prayer and food and even the utensils, the plates. So they come in prayer they prepare the food, then the people who also will serve them later. So someone like Gachagua was very cautious in this high intensive campaign in Mbeere North. I think he knew that on the stops at the stop X, we are going to have our tea. At stop Y, we are going to have our lunch. So the chefs go there in private food, they prepare, and also they dress in a manner that they look like the locals. And even remember, even in the walk, you'll see the security are a bit maybe a distance away from him. But if you zoom keenly, you'll find there are some people very far who are also following. So you cannot even attack him. You might think that he's just alone, but he's never alone. He's having a very good security following him. So I think some can be said to be for a PR show, but also remember what can justify that it was a door-to-door campaign is because you find out that those homes, we can't say that those homes were now imported from somewhere to Mbeere. Those homes have been built in Mbeere. They belong to Mbeere people. Those roads those roads are in Mbeere, and the people also, you saw him at the garage, you saw him also at the hotel where he was meet people, and some people also passing by Probox, the transportation, who was singing one time. I just want to say, it must be supplemented to look good, but all in all, it is a door-to-door campaign. I remember also he's spending the night there, so you don't know what he's doing at night. How many meetings is he holding at night? The meetings which are not being streamed socially, social media, live. And I remember even today, Kindiki went there, and also he said that he's going to come until 28th. So it means they have received intels that actually Gachagua is doing a lot of meetings at night and is waking up for the door-to-door campaign. Then during the noontime, he's going to meet people into what we call rallies. I can just say, to conclude, it is very important to do door-to-door campaign, because when you're doing door-to-door campaign, in my view, first, there's that connection by as a leader. Right now there's a disconnect between the leaders and the people in this country. But go down to that humble direction whereby you meet people door to door. There's that connection. You are being connected to your people. And also, as you are being connected to your people, there's what you call trust. You build trust. Because of the deficit trust we have right now, you're gonna build trust between the people as you connect. And remember, this is one of the highly contested by-election in the east of the country, because for that reason, you must ensure that you mobilize for a larger voter turnout. If you meet people one-on-one or door-to-door, you are going to influence them to turn out in large numbers, because they will say, if you can come down to our doorstep, me going to polling station will not take me. I will go to polling station because it looks serious. So if there's a larger voter turnout, it's going to reflect two things. One, it's going to reflect that the people must come out in large number to elect a new government in 2027. Number two, it will reflect that if the only route to send Kasongo home is through the ballot by turning out in large number, what happened? And also remember, as you do door-to-door campaign, you are getting instant feedback. Like we have said, the antlers are the wrong people most of the time, even though leaders are also wrong, are also evil, but the evil people are the antlers. Antlers might misinform you. They might give you wrong feedbacks that, okay, these people turn out there. So if you go door-to-door by yourself, you are going to get the instant feedback from the voter direct. And what I will tell you, as for me, I was pro-UDA, but because you have come, I'm now going to and someone said, when you are here, the UDA people are giving us 100, 1,000 bob each people, but you people, you are giving us 500. So if you can ask more, because you understand, Kindiki said, as he is there today in Mbeere, is going to increase the rate, whereby the rate might increase from the usual one. So I think it's very important. That is the essence of door-to-door campaign.
Okay. Miguda, I agree with you on everything that you say about the door-to-door campaign, because you talk about of connectivity, getting the immediate feedback, which is okay. But where I tend to have a departure is how they accompany it with a PR. Remember, even when the president was campaigning in 2022, there was a time they would wanaweza kula mahindi kwa barabara, yani wameenda kwa ule mama ambaye anachoma mahindi, unaona, anachukua wanakula, unaona, na unapata kwamba ni ile kuambia yule mpiga kura kwamba sisi tuko sawa kimaisha. Unaona, tuko katika sehemu moja live, tuseme kwamba zile mateso ambao wewe unapitia katika hata hii biashara yako, mimi niko ndani, ndio maana nimekuja kukula na wewe, ile tu. Lakini kwa ukweli ni ile kuchukua udhaifu wa wapiga kura na kuitumia ili wapate kura, lakini si ya kuleta mabadiliko katika maisha yao. Just on it is okay to have that, but to an extent where mnaweza hata kula sijui nini ila tu upate kura, lakini baada ya kupata kura kuna mabadiliko ambayo tutaona. Okay, that is that. You've spoken about the intents of this campaign, and if you look at the money that has been used, the other day I told Joseph here, I saw that there was somebody who was going to the extent of giving the mothers there sukuma, nyanya kamoja na ya nini kukaanga, just only to get the votes. You see that kind of like campaign, that those are short-lived campaigns, you know, instead of somebody who is campaigning and telling them, okay, this is what we are going to do so that you can keep on getting this skuma and nyanya. Maybe in agriculture, this is what we are going to put in place, rather than giving them. Because at the end of the day, hiyo ni kitu watakula siku moja, then imeisha. What next? What are you living with them? You know. So it also point out that the campaigns that we have, or the campaigns that we are doing, they're not issues oriented. One is about the political score, especially on what is happening to Mbeere North. What has taken the center stage is, one, the political score and the political future. How is my future? How will me find a way of proving, especially for the Kindiki? You said that he's been there, he was also offering that. Because like there's one thing that Kindiki has to prove. And this election that is going to happen in Mbeere Miguda is not about the two candidates that are there. This election is about Rigathi Gachagua and President William Ruto. Because it's going to be a benchmark. The statistics that is going to come of that election will inform on how the general election of 2027 will be. Yeah.
I agree with you, because you have seen also Ruto is trying to avoid Mbeere North and Malava. Let me take you those two constituencies. Ruto is trying to avoid them because in case Gachagua wins or the Panyako wins in Malava, he will not be blamed. He will say, okay, they were contesting. You know, in Malava, he has stationed Farouk Kibet.
Yes.
And in Mbeere, now it is Kindiki. He will say, okay, they were competing against Farouk and Kindiki. And even if he wins, he will say, kama Farouk aliwashinda huko Malava na Kindiki kamshinda huko Mbeere, atawezana na mimi. So what's happening here is that Kindiki also want to prove a point to Ruto that actually I can influence the voter turnout of the people of Mount Kenya. And I was listening to Kindiki mainly saying that sisi watu wa Mount Kenya East, sisi watu wa Embu, sisi watu wa Mbeere, there are some visitors who have come to this. So Gachagua is a visitor. There are some visitors who have come to our region today to give us direction. And Kindiki also said that because a visitor said he will be there up to Monday, Kindiki now has extended that he will be there until 28 after the election, 27 after the election. And let me tell you this, and I've realized it. Even now, Farouk Kibet has camped in Malava until 27. But Malava and Mbeere is going to be very difficult because Kindiki also said that he's going to increase the rate because I think they were being given 500. Now from 500, they're going to be given 1,000 because it's there. There are things which are going to happen. Number one, there's a lot of money being spent in those two constituencies.
Yeah.
Number two, the state is having interest and they have also camped with the state machineries.
Yeah.
And remember, during that period, I don't know what will happen, but I know for sure that there's going to be a lot. The security is going to be intensified, and there must be an attempt to rig those elections. That one I can take for sure because they will try by all means to rig those elections, and that's why you saw Farouk there and Kindiki here. But Ruto is someone who is very cunning. Ruto might not be in the vicinity, but actually is there. He don't like to be blamed, so he can hide behind Kindiki. He can hide behind Farouk. Remember the last time we went for demonstrations, what happened in Mount Kenya? When the people were on the street, you know what happened? That gang leader was used. When the people went for the street, they went and loot the Mount Kenyans' properties. Then they realized that they are losing their properties. Now they call off those strikes. Remember, the gang leader was used by the state to do those things, banning of the police post, looting Mount Kenyans' properties. To that extent, I can tell you that me from what I'm likely to predict is that already the plot, the state has a plot to ensure that they are going to work out those elections. But right now, that plot is now disclosed. It will only be realized after election. So it's high time for the people. And also regarding Gachagua is so having a certain, I saw him with a certain strategy because it was like the youth should go in the morning to vote first, then they retreat back to allow old men and women, then they come back to protect their votes during the counting and also declaration. So from that, I can just tell you that in Mbeere and Malava, the state is having interest. It's gonna be a tooth to tooth fight.
Yeah, and the reason being, all this is happening in this nomination, by elections that are happening. It is culminating to 2027. This is the book, or this is going to be the measure on how the 2027 will be, because we've always said here that in 2027, and let me take this opportunity to welcome those who are watching us. If you are watching us here for the very first time, this is Brother Benson. You can subscribe so that when we go live, the YouTube will notify you, so you can be part of the conversation. You can as well share your view on the comment section on Mbeere North by-election that both the leaders have intensified door-to-door campaigns. Hey, Makobura.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening. Where are you at?
I've been here from almost.
Sasa we nikuulize swali, si declare. Jana nani alisema hapa, Goody alisema hapo kuja udeclare.
I've been around. Sasa I don't know whether the kind of display you are putting on, I mean you are putting on is what was the issue or what, but I've been here, I've been following.
Oh, okay.
Nilingia when you're almost 30 minutes. I've been here for almost 30.
Sasa wewe uko na access, ungeamua kuangalia hizo settings ya Obura.
Okay. I didn't want to just confuse you. Mpaka sasa nikajiambia acha tu nijitokeze. Nilikutumia message mahali nikafikiria utaona, ni kama hujaona.
Okay, pole sana. Wacha tukuombe pole sana ndugu yangu kwa kukuweka katika mataa. Hivyo ndio watu hivyo ndio sasa mbinguni hata utaenda utakuwa unaangaliwa ipo na Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Bakubura, for staying in the backstage for almost 30 minutes, and sorry about that. We were just having a conversation about Mbeere. I think, like, if you are on the background, I think you followed our conversation. Maybe I will give you an opportunity. At least I've had enough. I've talked enough, especially then I can come in and give my view. So maybe your overall view on what is happening in Mbeere and the by-election.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. What I can say about the by-elections, the one for Malava is in Western, and specifically Bungoma. Malava is in
Malava is in Kakamega, bana. Kakamega. Yeah.
And you know, the biggest political we are seeing the biggest political parties. The UDA was there. We've seen the DAP there. We've seen the ODM, and currently we are seeing a situation where the government, that is the UDA together with ODM, are working together. And then those on the opposition side, the DAP, the DCP are also working together.
Yeah.
So remember, we saw the DCP withdrew their candidate and supported the DAP. And we are seeing similar thing on the side of the government. If you go to Mbeere, we are also seeing similar situations where the political parties that are on the opposition side are also coming together to support one candidate, while those that are supporting the government on the side of the government are also joining hands with ODM and those that they speak one language with. All this tells you or partly clarifies the kind of political fights that we are going to see in 2027.
Yeah.
And political realignments. We are seeing a situation where those in government are working closely with those who are supporting them. That is why we've seen ODM working closely with the UDA are trying to come up with a formula of supporting one candidate. Similarly, on the opposition side, this is a way, of course, of trying to build their political background. And it is also a political test where those in government would be tested whether they're truly working or delivering for the people of Kenya, while those on the opposition side are also being tested whether, those things that they are pointing out are true or not. So the by-elections are simply going to give us a clear reflection, and they are partly going to tell us of what we are supposed to expect in the coming general election. Remember, we've seen situations where political parties are consistently campaigning. We've seen new opposition leaders. We've seen Gachagua, who is coming out the limelight for the first time as a party leader. The other day was in government and is trying to play, politics of the opposition. So we are just doing an analysis of whether him coming to the position is gonna, he's coming with an impact, and is he really convincing the people? So if they manage, the united opposition, if they manage to win certain seats, then it will partly tell us that the oppositions are trying to convince or are pointing out all those things or the inabilities of the government. So it is, to me, I can simply say that it is a test that is going to give us a clear clarification of what really the ground is saying, whether the ground is remember there's a conversation of 1 term and 2 term. And if you can see a good friend, Laban Misiani, he continues. It doesn't take more than a minute before he writes something that is a 2 term, and he gives you reasons why. And we're also seeing other friends coming out to say 1 term. So we will get to understand through these by-elections whether this 2 term thing is accepted on the ground or whether the 1 term thing is accepted on the ground. But again, it will clearly gives a clarification on where the country stands. Remember, when the opposition wins in these by-elections, it might reflect the thinking of the people, the thinking of the ground, whether they're satisfied with the government in power or not.
Yep.
So that is what I can say. And to maybe specifically give specific observations, I can see Malava, I'm seeing a united opposition candidate coming out to be strong enough. If you go to Mbeere, we're also seeing serious conflict between. Remember the Mbeere one. The Mbeere one is is the constituency where the former AG, that is Justin Muturi, is coming from, and again it's the same constituency where the current cabinet secretary was appointed, that is Mr. Aruku. So there it is not, whoever is going to win that particular seat and with the more interest, I think that should be one of the political battleground for the opposition and the government. Because if the opposition manages to win that particular constituency, then I can clearly say that the government side or the president's side is not going to find it easy in those areas. But if the UDA or the government side wins, then it will be a clarification still that the president is still accepted in that part of the region and that the people are happy with how he's running the country.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Makobura, for that and for your great in-depth analysis of when you look at Mbeere, Malawa, and the by-elections that are coming, and what are the impacts, or what are how will they set the pace for 2027? When you look at especially the Mbeere North by-election is a battleground, and it's for people to test their power, and who is who. Especially this is coming in the backdrop of President William Ruto, appointing appointing Kindiki to the post of the deputy president. And you can remember, you can tell on how Rigathi Gachagua is doing his politics that is the real deputy president that was elected by the people and is competing against a president that is a deputy president that is appointed by the president. So he feels that is the deputy president that the people elected. And Kindiki also feels that he's the real one. But there are so many intrigues that are in it towards 2027 that people have to deliver, especially for those who are for government. They're deliverables that you have to deliver this seat, especially for President William Ruto. If you deliver this seat, what will happen is that it boosts your chances, especially for Kithure Kindiki, to be the deputy president. Because remember, the other day, Cherargei was talking about the two positions that is non-negotiable, especially when they're doing coalition as a Kenya Kwanza. That is the office of the deputy president and the president. So the rest, especially like even the ODM, they will be given the chairship of the village elders, as per what the Cherargei was saying, And if you look at critically in our Kenyan politics, I usually say this: the positions that you are given, especially for Kindiki, who does not have a party, the position you're given it's usually rewarded on what you are bringing. Yeah? Because even when Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, Ruto had so many options of leaders to be the deputy president, to replace Rigathi Gachagua. But he would not go for those. One, because he was looking at it this way. The votes that are behind, or the votes that would be behind Kithure Kindiki, bearing in mind that the deputy president came from Central Kenya, and I have to give something from Central Kenya, and also the politics of the East and the West. Remember, somebody said that the issues that the people of West are going through is not the same as people of East. Like, he doesn't understand the issue of the East. Yeah? Yeah? And if by any chance Kindiki wins this one will give President a surety that I'm having the East with me. And that one will make even easier for his arithmetic for 2027. Again, there's also Ruku himself. Ruku also has to prove a point. And we know how that seat came to be vacant. Yeah. Remember, Ruku was a DP candidate and was a very close ally of Muturi. But the very moment that President and Muturi disagreed, and what did the president has to do? Immediately after firing, or after disagreement, he picked somebody who is very close to Muturi to put him there so that it can remain vacant. One, he was proving to Muturi that how he can deal with you politically, you know. And now what is taking place here is a battle for Muturi again. If Muturi wins this seat, then it will be a win for him against president. So that's why they have to try their level best to win this. And if Muturi loses, then which means that now president amekushinda. Alichukua rafiki yako akapatiana kazi kabaki vacant, wakaleta mtu tena akashindwa, which means you do not have that influence, you know. And remember also the governor, the other day she was saying that aliomba watu akaomba kwamba to retain that seat so that she can maintain the UDA chairmanship. So there are so many deliverables. All these leaders, they are having political pressures. And look at the kind of the money that is being in that by-election alone. It's a lot of money. It tells you that to win for either of them, the united opposition and the government, will be an energy that will take them to 2027 and will make them now say, okay, now the alignments, you know, realignments and the realignments, even for those who are allied to the president on that constituency of the UDA, if they win, they will have hope that, okay, we are in the right place. If they lose that seat, they will have to start thinking otherwise, no, we are not on the right path. So there's so much that is going to go on. Yeah, that is what I think. Hey, Mabella, where are you at? Yes, Miguda.
I just want to say what's happening in Mbeere and Malava. Of course, they are distinct constituencies, but very important for the 2027 election. You find out that Kindiki must prove a point to his boss that I'm the person to assist you get your second term from Mount Kenya. And he was very precise about Mount Kenya East. Whereas Gachagua is saying there's nothing like Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya West. This is what wa Murima. So you find out that Gachagua is also not a joke in this by-election, because you understand Gachagua understands Ruto very well. He knows what he's capable of doing. He knows what he can do. And that's why he went there camping, because he knows how the government can, he has been in the system, how our system operates. And whatever, even it can cause violence and pretend, then they can declare contrary to the. So even you must prepare your people, full soldiers, whereby they will safeguard the votes, the agents, and also the so-called kama noma ni noma. So I don't know if they can do it. But some of us can do kama noma ni noma. But so to me, this is a do-die contest, whereby if I win, I'm ready to face you in 2027. If I lose, if you also create that, what we call politics about perception, the electorate will have that perception that if he could not deliver in Mbeere, how can he deliver in the entire Mount Kenya? Or it seems like Mount Kenya East is gone. Let us resolve the Mount Kenya West according to Ruto, because it is Ruto who has divided Mount Kenya, but Gachagua is saying Mount Kenya is united. So if Kindiki wins, Kindiki will now day that kama nimkanyaga pale Mbeere. So what can, so you understand, it a talk of the town for the next 1 year in 2026, and also the great impression to the electorate, because it's about perception. There are some voters who cannot turn out because of perception, but there are some voters who can just turn out of perception. And in Malava, when Farouk deliver, that's it, Ruto. Farouk will have a field day in Western Kenya that nilikanyaga wenyeji kwao. And if Mbeere can deliver to the united opposition, it will have a bargaining power that if my DAP candidate will win against the ruling regime, therefore at the table I have a stake as the DAP, because I'm very influential in Western. So that's why I told about Malava and Mbeere are very crucial. The Kabondo is not crucial because Kabondo, understand, it's I can say it's just a home affair. It's a tournament between homeboys. It's just an affair between the families. But here, they are in Mbeere, they are foreigners contest, whereby Ruto UDA is battling out with Gachagua and people like Muturi in the united opposition. Whereas also in Malava, there's Ruto, the ruling president in the party UDA, battling out with the united opposition. But you find out that in Kasipul is now more of a county, a tournament, but Wanga wants the ODM party to get it against other people. So you find out it is very, very, very hotly contested in Mbeere and Malava. But now here is a test, and I like it. And like we have said, if Gachagua is a man enough, let Gachagua deliver this seat to the united opposition. If Natembe is a man enough, let him deliver this seat to the united opposition. Let us battle it out, because this is how we are going to do in 2027. Remember, in 2027, Ruto is not going to laugh with you because you have the people, because you are united. Now he's going to give you a easy ride. Oh, okay, you are united, you have the people. Okay, I've conceded. You can take his of power. No, Ruto is going to fight the last time. So if they can defeat him in that battle, it's going to be surety to the electorate that, okay, it is very easy. The way we deal with them in Mbeere and Malava, that's the same way we are going to deal with them in the general election. And whereas if Ruto managed to win, he will say, kama niliwaangusha kwa zile by elections, that's the same. You remember what he used to tell the people of ODM? That Wembe ni ule ule. And that's just perception. So when he was telling people that Wembe ni ule ule, that's how electorates usually turn out large number. Okay, we are going to vote for it. So I think it's going to be a do-die.
All right. Thank you so much. I can see my brother Joseph is here. And Joseph, as you come in, let me also take this opportunity to welcome everyone who is watching us at this platform. If you're new here, or if you are watching us for the very first time, our brothers of internet, you can subscribe to the channel. So if you are having such like conversation, you will be part of it. And As well, you can also share your view on the comment section so we can know on your side your opinion, which is very, very much welcome. Donny, having grown in and work there, I can confirm that there is no difference between an Embian and Kikuyu from Kirinyaga. Wakiamua hawabadilishi no matter what. Okay, Danny, thank you so much for joining. Bishop, umepotea sana. So before I invite in Joseph, there's something that I want to share with you, especially, and this is according to Anthony Kibagendi. And this is what Anthony Kibagendi said, I quote, "There is never been more costly by-election like the Mbeere North constituency by-election in the history of Kenya. More than Kenya shillings 200 million already spent by buying other candidates, buying opinion leaders, bribing voters, and even elected leaders from the region. All the relief food meant for Northeasterns and parts of the Turkana and all that. That is not, forget about the last statement that he made. I'm talking about the money that has been spent. I do not have facts if it is true, but this is according to what he posted in his Facebook handle. Again, he also talked about the same person. I was just looking at it. He said, mtu anitumie namba ya Seth Panyako, nitumie kitu kadogo ya mafuta. Dude is running against a state-funded candidate who receives Kenya shilling 2 million every day for him to bribe voters. Pesa ya sha, forget about hiyo sasa inakuja. So look at the amount of the money. If it is true that is the money that is being used, especially 200 million in just a by-election, it tells you how high stake or the win, how the candidate, the UDA candidate, a win for them is a great deal. They will do everything possible within their means to an extent, according to Bagendi, to put in 200 million in a campaign. That is only a campaign. Mr. Joseph, what do you have to say?
Well, Mr. Benson, good evening and also maybe good morning. I want to greet Marco Bura and Brother Miguda, and I can see at the comment section Goodia and Dan and Laban. I want to greet them there. Sorry, Deep State made me to sleep. You know, Deep State siku hizi inacheza mpaka na usingizi. They did not want me to come to the show today. So thank you. I've heard the question you asking about the by-elections that are happening. I think nowadays I told you I'm a prophet. I came and told you that this by-election will be a by-election that you have never seen. Just three days ago, I came to the show and told you that it will be a game of who is who, or a game of might in this by-election. Also the by-election in Malava and the one in Mbeere. I think the 200 million is not that the candidates are giving the 200 million. It's about the power and the masses that have come there to camp so that they can be able to win this seat, whether from the united opposition or the government. But the government also, you know, they have money and they have the machinery, so they are trying to spend money in this constituency so that they can flip the win. But I'm telling you, brother, in the ground, it is very hot. At least in Mbeere, I'm going to confirm to you. In Mbeere, it will be hotter, my friend, because I have some people who are there, and they're clearly telling me that it's game over. But what Gachagua needs, not about game over only. I think Gachagua, what he wants, you already know the game is over. What he wants is he needs to win the UDA candidate, Wamudende, Leo Wamudende, with a lot of votes that even Wamudende will get maybe 2,000 or 3,000 votes, that he cannot even go more than 3,000 votes. I think now that is his aim now, because already they know they have already crushed him down. I'm telling you that that game between, now that is a prophecy I'm giving you. because today is Wednesday. We are remaining only 1 week, so I'm telling you that Karish, the person who is the guitar player, is going to have taken Leo at home early in the morning. Because you saw also, Father Dan told you there in the comment, there's no difference between Embu and Kikuyu. There is no difference. At least Father Dan is saying amekaa huko, mimi sasa ninakaaga huko, I stay there. So in between those counties, I mean Kirinyaga and I have my person from Embu, so I am staying in between there. So I know how those people they interact there. They speak in English as the same as Kikuyu. But in Malabo will be a nice one to watch. I know that one now will be a tight race in Malabo. Malabo will be a very tight race. And you know the government is going to try to send money there. You know, this is a do or die for the president, because he knows if he's shown dust in this by-election, it is to be a difficult run for him when he goes back to the campaigns. You know, it's better Uhuru Kenyatta when he was won the by-elections in Kiambaa and the other areas. He himself was retiring from politics. This is an active president. He's not retiring from politics. He's active. Next election is going to be a candidate. So it will be very tricky for him to try to convince people that he still has the might. First, I'm telling you, if Gachagua is going to do him like that in Mbeere North, that is going to get the kind of votes he's going to get, I'm telling you, it will be a difficult run for him. First in places like Mount Kenya.
Okay, thank you so much, Joseph. And I also want to weigh my thoughts, especially in Malava. You know, it is quite much interesting if you look at Malava, whereby the Prime Cabinet Secretary should have been very vocal, especially in Malava, being that seat belonged to ANC, but the ANC was folded, and now he doesn't have any political party as we speak that he can bargain with. Again, remember just some few days ago, Ayub Savula, who is the deputy party leader, actually was campaigning for a UDA candidate, you know. And we saw Mudavadi the other day. I think we spoke about it. And it tells you how sometimes our leaders think. Ati musinipatia hii nini? When you talk that if you don't vote UDA, mtanifukuza kazi. And he's a leader. Remember, this is a Prime Cabinet Secretary you're talking about. So it means if you are employed, according to that statement, that's how I say it, that if the Prime Cabinet Secretary is employed, the people of Mlembe Nation are employed, or the people of Kabras, of Malaba are employed. Yeah. So when you look also,
and that is what you know. That is some of the things that disturb me in my mind.
Yeah.
That when you find even an MP talking and saying that tukosaidia serikali ati tumeenda kwa serikali kutafuta development. You know, I ask myself, you as an MP unaenda kusaidia serikali ndio utafute development. Why? This president is supposed to be a president who is doing development to everybody. What are you telling us, trying to tell us that you're going to serikali ndio ujaribu kupatiwa? Your work even is not to go to serikali to tafuta all those things. Your work is to register, go to parliament. Sema mi barabara yangu ya kutoka hapa mpaka hapa haijatengenezwa. I need to petition the government. Why are they not making the road? In my hospital, there is no medicine in my constituency. Why do you need to come and tell us that lazima nipigie sijui mtu simu from the office in State House ati, hello, I need you, Mr. President, I need you to help me in the road, or I need you to help me in the... Why do we give you then the mandate to go to parliament? Si afadhali tungekuwa tunasema basi tusikuwe na members of parliament where tukue tukikutana tu State House. Enda uitishe development alafu kuje tukae tu kijiji tutulie. Why do we need to take you to registrate? These things, all of them, they come from the parliament. Hakuna kitu kinatoka State House. If you want roads, the budget is made in parliament. If you want medicine, budget is made in parliament. Everything is made in parliament. Why don't you input that road, those medicine, those even SHA? Who passed the SHA? And they are complaining. It is them. It is them who passed the SHA in parliament. The only thing that was done, Ruto brought them the proposal they needed, and they na wakaeka kidole, they stamped it with authority.
Authority,
So
yes.
who is playing who when they come to tell us that we have people in government, sijui umepatio CSS wanane, sijui you have been given 2 CSS, sijui you are the prime cabinet secretary. What does it help us with? That one is helping somebody individually with his family and the people who are around him. The people who are around him are the ones who feel good because they are going to get these tenders. They are going to be swimming in money. They are going to be doing the corruption deals. Well, there's nothing that is helping us as citizens. And that's why we continue to have so many problems. If our registration does not know the work they are supposed to do, and that one does not only sit with Senate and members of Parliament and the National Assembly, it also goes to the MCAs in the county level. You find the MCA, if they're not talking the same word with the governor, that the governor is not going to do for you development in your ward. That is such a height of shame, which is, I don't know, it is such a height of incompetence that I've never seen. This is the only country where you see this.
Yeah, and it is that like what usually should happen is that we should be very keen, especially when we listen to especially our leaders when they make such remarks. And I told you this, what we call the political PR that are being used against the gullible voters to vote, giving them hopes that do not exist. And as we are talking about Malaba, on 21st, the Brigade of United Opposition that is being led by Natembeya will be in Malaba on 21st, and is going to be big. And if I look at Malaba, to me, as per now, I feel that Seth Panyako has high chances of winning. I feel that high chances of winning, but you know, the votes are not yet cast and counted. But from the look of things and how the response is, the Panyako has that. And I was talking about Ayub Savula, who is a DAP deputy leader, and the other day he went and supported the UDA candidate. We know, I know for a fact that sometimes the interest, that is how politics work. Wewe unajua mtu labda anakosa, haezi win because like if you look at maybe the influence haipo, lakini unaamua ukipatiwa mchongo mzuri, ama kwa Tanzania huwa anasema mtonyo. Ukipatiwa mtonyo, we kula mtonyo, umekubali labda
sasa brother Benson umeanza kusema mtonyo ndio nini?
Wewe ujui mtonyo? Ukipatiwa mtonyo, we kula. So, and it turns out our political transaction is usually being done in that. So for now, the Malaba, to my case, is, to me, as much as we will be waiting results according to the way Laban has really told us, but I'm seeing a situation whereby Seth Panyako will be winning, and it will be a big blow, especially for Musalia Mudavadi. You know, it will be a very big blow for him.
But let me assure Laban that in Mbeere, don't wait for 2 term, brother. In Mbeere, it's done deal. That one I can assure him. That one 100%. I'm telling you, and I'm just coming here to profess. I've told you, Gachagua knows what he has done. He knows that they have closed those shops he's saying. I know he knows they have closed. Now the issue is about how many votes will Nani get, Wamudende. They want to limit them. That is what they want to do. And if you heard him saying, they want to limit these votes to not exceed more than 2,000. So if they limit this, because let me tell you, Brother Benson, there's also another perception which people are not looking for. Yeah, they can be Gachagua will win with the candidate, Karis will win. You know, Karis is my name, you know, is Karis. But I think if they win the votes, Karis wins with just a few 1,000 votes. It will show that the race will be tight, and it also signals that Ruto still has a majority in Mount Kenya. You see, so that perception, I think even Gachagua knows, and they want to crash it initially. That's why you see all the machinery has been sent there. So it is a do or do, because even if they lose the by-elections, they want to see how they get the numbers, how many numbers they'll get, and that's why you have even. Why do you think this guy said about deputy? This Cherargei, why was he talking about ODM itapata deputy?
So to make
They
to
were
give,
talking about by-elections.
yeah, it was to make the people from Mbeere, especially, to make sure that their position is secured.
Yes, you know why they are doing that? I told you why they are doing that. Brother Benson, kila siku nakuja na kuprofesaia kitu hapa. I told you they want to get almost 500,000 votes from Mount Kenya in the elections, in the January elections next year. So they are trying to push a narrative that that Ruto still has numbers. He still has some people who are still with him in Mount Kenya. So that is what I'm telling you. But if Karis beats Wamudende hands down, brother, now that is what we change the dynamics. But if they are neck to neck, and then it means also another perception will be created.
Yeah. Actually, before I invite in Makobura and Miguda, what is going to set the pace for 2027 general election, and even going to set the pace for President William Ruto to start focus so much on the Central Kenya campaign, is the result that we are going to get. And if the results, the way you are saying that, if the results are going to be like a smaller margin for all the candidates, either the opposition or the one that is being supported, it will mean they will have to do a lot of work for 2027 so that they can win, or so that they can deny each of them quite a number of votes from those regions. Makobura, I would want to step out, and maybe you can at least steer for me, then I'll be back. I need to attend to some other duty immediately. I'm seeing somebody's calling me. But now, Miguda, you spoke about Kasipul Kabondo. Even though it is in-house or the homeboys, but it has, like, there are people, especially the leaders who are there, who feels that Boyd Mbeere has to win. And if you go to the Otete side, they also feel they have to win, because remember, Otete, the reason why Otete went independent was because he knew very well from the beginning that he was not the favorite, especially not of the party, but of the officials of the party who were going to handle that nomination. So he decided to go his own way. So by that, going independent. But remember also, we have Gladys Wanga, who even today, she campaigned for Boyd Mbeere. There was a massive campaign, intensified also her campaign. And I know she's going to campaign Kasipul Kabondo. But because Mbeere has to win, the reason why Mbeere has to win, it will be for Wanga, it is about two things. One, it is about kurudisha mkono. Remember, the father to Boyd Mbeere was a very, very, very strong supporter of Gladys Wanga, and she stood with her. If you look at the entire Homa Bay County of all the constituency, back in the days, you'd see that there are people who were not having that political rapport with Wanga for quite some time, you know. So, but Mbeere was a very loyal member, and that's why the other day she was saying that if an MP cannot work with me, then a opposition, she will not get development. Remember that statement that she said, and still, that one still boils up to that. Secondly, the reason for that, it will also help Gladys Wanga to stamp her authority in Homa Bay County politics. You've seen how she's very active in politics, both at the national level and both at the county level. So she has to stamp her authority. So if Otete wins, that will be a very big blow to Wanga, in extension to ODM. But Otete is an ODM. Is that like his acceptance was not within the party officials, but he's an ODM. He subscribes to the ideals of ODM because he has been in ODM for his political career. This is the only time during this by-election that he's moving out to try his luck as an independent candidate. So the fact that it is an homeboy, but it's people who feel that they have to win, especially Wanga, that candidate has to win. But from the look of things, it is 50-50. But the ODM candidate might win, because look at the political. And yesterday, Emilio Diambo spoke about it. In the villages, you know, there's some of the stand that you can take because they're in the village, you know, because of the political population of who you're dealing with. you know. And when you analyze that Emilio Odhiambo statement, I think like even the broad-based, they're in the broad-based, not they're supporting broad-based, not because they like to, not because they like, but because the population they are representing, is playing allegiance to ODM, anything that Baba said, because it's not a Cosmo. So if it was like town, the way he was saying Babu Owino and Edwin Sifuna, then it means she could have been thinking otherwise. Thank you so much, Mr. Makobura. You can, I'm coming back.
Okay. Thank you so much. Allow me to say hi to Joseph. I can see Joseph is also here. Na nimemsikiza bila kusahau na nitambue uwepo wa Dan. I think Dan is the priest, a good priest. Thank you so much for finding time to join us. I can see our good friend Goodyear. I can also see our good friend Laban Musiani. Thank you so much for finding time to be with us. And Joseph, I'll come to you. There is some politics which are going on in Ukambani. There's a party by the name National Liberal Party that is led by Augustus Muli. It is gaining traction in Ukambani and in Kitui, where it claims more than 100 registered numbers. And again, this grassroots momentum is challenging the traditional politics pattern in that region, signaling, of course, a shift towards the alternative leadership and, of course, a fresh political ideas. And the question I want to ask you is, with Kalonzo Musyoka, who is also part of the United Opposition, do you think he still has the political control of the Ukambani? And with the rise or with the merging of these political parties, the small political parties which are gaining momentums, how is it going to affect his, the kingpinship that he's always had in that region? Joseph?
Thank you, Brother Mark, for that question. I'll answer that one, then I'll go to the one that Brother Benson left us. So I'll start with the Ukambani, the party that you're saying is being formed. I think in these predominant regions like Ukambani, places like Central Kenya, places like Luo Nyanza, places like Rift Valley, even now I can see even places like it's called what, northeastern and coast, they have started becoming predominantly with parties which are stronger than the other ones. So I think it's good to have a party that can be an alternative, but I think in these elections, as people from Kambani are taking them very seriously, they have a candidate maybe who is going to be presidential. I think Wiper will be predominantly strong in that region. I don't think that party will be of any maybe itakwaruza kidogo, but it will not be of any magnitude in that region, because right now the Kamba people are focused. They can see their own son Kalonzo maybe can be the next candidate and the next president of the Republic of Kenya. So I think they are trailing all their guns towards this 2027 general election. And then one thing I want you to notice, if you have checked even with the people who are trying to go against, or you see they are talking, is like they're talking against Kalonzo Musyoka, you can see what is being done to them. You can see the people who are around that region, they are shutting them down very, very fast and completely. So I think that party is good to have democracy as parties, but I think in these predominant areas, parties like Wiper, parties like DCP, parties like it's called the one in Northeastern, which was made. I think I don't remember the name. Parties like ODM, and even in the coast, I can see Joho is like he's trying to groom himself to get a party so that, or to be a kingpin in that region. I think those areas will be predominantly be ruled by this kind of politics. But it's good because even in Mount Kenya we have so many parties. But I can assure you that these parties, most of them, they are going to be having MCAs and certain kind of area representatives. But I think from MPs, you all know what will happen. I think that will also reflect same in Ukambani. Uh, Maybe that party might try to get one or two MCAs, but for them to get members of parliament, senators, and governor, I lie to you, I don't think they'll get. That one, Wiper is strong. Is a strong force. Then I also want to also answer about the Luo Nyanza region politics. I think Luo Nyanza region politics is already settled because Prime Minister Raila Odinga had already given the candidate for Kasipule, and I think that one is no of doubt. But I think it is going to be a highly contested by-elections because there is nothing easy. If Raila was there, he could go there and say nataka huyu kijana namfanya kuwe MP, and people could have made him very fast. But right now, Baba is not there. Everything now is off the ground to see. I think this one will be also a reflection on the general elections next general election. It will show you how the politics of ODM are going to span out. I think we'll see, because even I've not seen any serious ODM campaigns in that region. I don't know why they don't have any serious ODM campaigns in that region. I've tried to look for some of the clips there. I think only twice they have gone there to campaign, but I've not seen a very vigorous. I think this last week they are going to go there and camp there, but I see they're still having, ODM of the late, they've been having so much activities. You see them this side, that side. You cannot see them constant. But I think we are going to see within this last week, because this is the last leg of the by-elections. So we are going to see. But this by-election are going to major on so many issues. Even ODM politics is going to just be measured within the Kasipul by-elections, and the other ones we have said in Mbeere and Malava, they are going to shape up the formation of how the 2027 general election will be done. So I think that one is to answer you, Brother Mark. Wiper will be dominant in that region. That one is right now they are not joking because they are hearing their son is about to get to the top seat. So I think they cannot be trying to gamble this. Then I see brother our father Dan had said about about Roko, Gachagua taking tea with Roko grandma. I think Roko has said that the grandma is not is no more. So I don't know, but this is politics. Anything can go. So thank you, Brother Mark.
Okay, thank you so much. Can see Daniel is saying true. Most people are ignorantly obedient to parties and individuals without a doubt. Okay, thank you so much, Dan. And to our viewers, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're watching for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to this channel. If you do so, it is a way of supporting us. Na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. Brother Joseph, I don't know where Miguda is gone. I think he's dropped. There's some comments that we are seeing from certain political leaders, and I'm quite sure you remember Mishra, who is a former member of parliament from Keses. He's saying that he's proposing that Ida Odinga should be made the first female prime minister. Of course, contingent on constitutional amendment. And, Mishra it did praise the legacy of Mama Ida in public service, and he also described her as a unifying factor with the national influence. The proposal was made during the visit to the Odinga's family Opoda farm, where Mishra also had gone to pay his last tribute to Raila Amolo Odinga. And the question I want to ask you is, do you think his comments are genuine, or these are all political comments?
Thank you for that question. I think Maida is a very good leader because we have seen her leadership skills in the way she talks and the way she tries to hold herself in the limelight of the people. But these guys, when they are going there, most of them, they are going to play politics, and it's not good because some of them, when they are going to pay their last respects to the departed Baba, they are trying to go and show their politics there, and these comments, you are going to hear them. You are not going to love to hear them in this kind of forums where they are going to say also all manner of good things, even though some of them, how they felt. So I think this one, for if it was true, or if she was intending, or intention were very good, that indeed he could have said that Mama Ida could become a very good leader. That one I agree with the statement. Well, Mama Ida has very good qualities, and I think she's the one who has put the glue in the family, and also some glue has been put in ODM. You guys, you only see Baba with ODM being champion there. That Baba was the full champion, but you forget to see the person who was behind it. The person who was behind was Mama Ida, and she was fully pushing our beloved Baba with full force. And ungeona the man was very energized, knowing that also when I leave home, my family is still standing and intact. So I think if it is true from the deep of the heart from Mishra, I think Mama Ida is a very good leader. So for me, is that I can say, Brother Mark.
Okay, thank you so much. I can see Miguda is back. Miguda, first you'll give us your take on what you think about what is happening in Kasipul. That is, the politics that is being played over there, the by-election, and we are seeing Boyd Were together with Otete. It's called Otete. I think that's just a nickname or a slogan that is using. You'll give us your take on what you think about the two candidates over there, and you can also give us the possibilities or what you think who will win between the two. And then, not forgetting, there's a question that I'd asked our good friend Joseph here. The former member of parliament from Kasas is proposing that Mama Ida Odinga should be the first female prime minister. And he's also, he did praise his legacy in the public service, of course, describing her as a unifying figure with the national influence. Mr. Migure, you can give us your take, whether that is a genuine comment or it's a political comment. We've seen politicians going to Poda, and all of them are coming up with different versions. Can you give us your take, Miguda?
Okay. First, you have asked me the issue of Kasipul Kabondo. And I just want to confirm to you, without any deviation of thoughts, that up to now, my instinct tells me that the next Kasipul lawmaker is Mbeere. Mbeere is going to be declared the next Kasipul Kabondo, even though it's going to be a tough contest between him and Otete, the so-called Aroko. The reason is why I've also tried to do my own, I can say, I've also tried to do my own intels. And from the people, there's a war in that constituency between the governor and the deputy governor. And people are saying the governor is not a walk in the park. And you saw what happened during primaries. Some so-called goons were imported from the constituency. And even they said they can import as many goons. There are a lot of things that are going to happen. The way we know what's going to happen at Mbeere, you understand the real mobilizer is on the ground, going to mess around with Ruto. The real mobilizer is going to mess with Ruto at Mbeere. Not. That's the same way Gwanga is going to mess with somebody. And those are just now what we can say but they're going to happen because it's not going to be, it's not going to be an easy task, including what's going to happen at Mbeere North. The same way is what's going to happen at Kasipul Kabondo. People are going to do unlikely things. So, but all in all, Mbeere is going to be the next MP. Let me stick to that prediction, and I'm very much contented with my prediction. We will be here to ascertain. Mama Ida, haven't understand her politically, because she has been insisted that she's not a politician, but she's the wife of a political engineer, the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. She said she's never a politician, but she don't regret marrying a political engineer. In terms of leadership, what makes Joseph to admire Mama? It is true. In terms of in terms of PR and leadership, she can do better, because to certain extent she's a principled woman. To certain extent, she's someone also understand the preservation of democracy, rule of law, social justice, and also in terms of I think being closer to former Prime Minister. There are some activities she has actually undertaken. For instance, she has led the ODM Women League. She has also engaged in some active political activities in the party. Also, she has been one of the decision makers sometimes back. Remember, even in terms of nomination, she decides sometimes. And when she speaks with authority. And sometimes she usually stamps authority, and she says exactly what she meant and meant exactly what she said. To that extent, I think she is a leader. She was a teacher. Most of the teachers tend to be good leaders. People like Osodo Ben Soda, they were teachers. Teachers tend to give us. As a teacher, you deal with the society at large. And she taught also, I think, at what we call national school, whereby she was able to interact with Kenyans across the nation, not only Luo people. He taught, and that's why you saw the result. People like the current CJ were his classmates. The governor of Machakos, those are the people she actually taught. So that is, I can say, she has also been the national limelight. She has acted as a national figure besides former Prime Minister. If given opportunity to serve the country, I think she can. I cannot rule her out, because we have seen even spouses of prominent leaders actually ascending to power. You saw even in the United States of America, Hillary Clinton was spouse to Bill Clinton, whether she has served United States of America in her capacity as the Secretary to the State. You also realize that there are some not only spouses but even the sons and daughters of politicians. Some do great things, and some also are fond of messing up. So if Ida Odinga, and I think at her age, she has nothing to do with many things in life, like other women, like Karen Nyam. She can not engage in whatever Karen Nyamu and our good women from Nairobi Pasaris are doing. She has a limit. So I think if that is the proposal from an individual, but also if she is willing or she got interest, she can throw her weight. Remember, she is well guided. Even the way she was speaking, the way she has been speaking all along, she's guided. She's saying, she measures her words, let me say like that, in public and also I think in private, because of that nurturing by the former prime minister. Remember, even when Winnie spoke, Winnie has been quiet, but Winnie only spoke once, and Winnie was all over the headline because they have been mentored. That early childhood mentor by Raila Odinga and also the spouse, so they understand these things. They understand struggling. They understand principality. That's why I was saying, nasikia kuna watu wanataka kukuza chama. So to her, that thing should not happen. Those are things which Raila used to say. So I think Marco Bura, that woman, or that Min Peng, let me use Min Peng. Let me explain one thing here. And Joseph asks us that the name Min Peng is not a simple name. It means something. Yeah, it means something. Min Peng is a woman of the nation. You understand? Because we prefer Baba that time, that he was the Baba of the nation. Now the spouse to be Min Peng, the wife to the nation. And Min Peng is a woman who can be a mother to everybody, everyone. So that reference alone can give her a head start to begin his political journey. I can't rule her out, but now that one is now left for her to decide. Sometimes these things here are self-decisive. You have to decide by yourself. People can push you, but maybe you don't see the necessary why you should be there. But if there is any quest from the people calling you out to come and serve public, kindly do so. Disappoint people. Because maybe the way they said, Vox Populi, Vox Dei, voice of the people is the voice of God. So maybe the God is speaking through people for you to come out and rescue them from from unpopular president. Okay, Makubura, back to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miguda, for also giving us your take. And then the other question that I want Joseph to give his take, and then after that we'll hear his last remarks, is the issue between Kenya-Uganda political tensions, where we saw the Kenya's High Commissioner to Uganda, Mr. Joash Mangi, warned citizens against interfering in Ugandan politics. Of course, that following the abduction of the two Kenyans at a political event in Uganda. The incidents, of course, raised concerns about diplomatic relations and citizen safety abroad. Mangi emphasized the importance of respecting Uganda's sovereignty and urged Kenyans to focus on domestic politics. And that, of course, brings me to this question. Mr. Joseph, we've seen political tension, not just within Kenya, Uganda. We saw it the other day in Kenya, with Kenya, Tanzania. And we're also seeing a culture where Kenyans are coming out to point out all the negativity that are being carried within the country and also with, in other countries around. And in most instances, they've come out to, to say that they are even ready to go and assist. Something that is not a message that is not being received very well with those other leaders or the leaders in these other countries. We saw what was happening in Tanzania. Remember when Kenyan Gen Zs were demonstrating and they wanted, or they were signaling that whatever was happening in Tanzania then was not right. And it brought a lot of debate where we saw Tanzanian members or leaders coming out to criticize. They even spoke about the same on their National Assembly. We are seeing not one, several times, we've seen Museveni, the president of Uganda, coming out to criticize or to make certain, observatory remarks. We've also seen Muhozi, the son of the president, also coming out to criticize and even warning. We've seen abductions, we've seen Kenyans, so many things. And the question I'm asking you is, what is your take on the Kenya-Uganda political tension and all these comments which we are seeing from the leaders, and the concern that the people of Kenya has, as in other countries? Something else that you can give us your take on before we conclude is the ODM party dynamics, where we're seeing internal tensions arising with leaders like Joho coming out threatening to leave if sidelined or not consulted on certain matters, saying that they are part and parcel of that political party, they formed it. You can as well give us your take on the cybercrime law debate, where we saw the religious leaders and the civil society are voicing concerns over the proposed amendments that they are saying in their own terms that they might limit freedom of expression. And last, Mr. Joseph, you can give us your take on Ruto's coalition strategy, where President Ruto is reportedly engaging ODM leaders in discussion about ministerial allocation in a broader coalition government. After that, you'll give us your last remarks, Mr. Joseph.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Marco Bura. I think you have asked me quite a handful of questions, but I'll answer them systematic as you've given them. And I see in the comment section, people are very angry with Gladys Wanga. So I think those are some of the comments from the people there. Okay, so I'll take this one from Uganda, and I'll start. It's a very good question you asked about the government of Museveni and Kenya. I think the government of Kenya is colluding with these so-called governments, the one in Tanzania and in Uganda. It's such a shame that today a senator from Kakamega was ejected just because he said that the former president tried to intervene in bringing back the two activists who were taken by Ugandan authorities, and that is the guys who are taken by Museveni, and it clearly shows that the government has really let Kenyans down in terms of diplomacy and in terms of foreign affairs activities in the country and around the world. You can see clearly what is happening even in other countries like Saudi Arabia and Vietnam and other regions, that the home affairs, because they are the ones who are supposed to deal with these issues, it's not working the way they are supposed to do. If you can find a place where a former president is being involved and tasked to bring people who have been abducted by other foreign governments, and when the certain members of parliament try to voice this one out, they have been injected in parliament presence. It clearly shows that the government has lost the direction of what it should do to its Kenyan citizens. I think in Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, I think it is a revolution which has been sidelined, but now it is taking shape. You know, these elections will be done. Yani karibu sana, zitafanywa karibu sana, because if you see Tanzania elections was done in December. We have one which is been done in Uganda in 15th January 2026. and then the Kenyan one is following in 2027. So I think this is some of the issues that are happening in East Africa. And I'm telling you, East Africa is going through a revolution, which is a dynamic, because these three countries, why don't we hear other East African countries, but we are hearing that the politics of these three countries are the ones which are center stage in East Africa, is because they somehow are powerhouses in East Africa. And also the population in these countries, some of it is of the young people, the ones we are calling from 15 to 35 years. So the population is clearly telling these old guards, because the ones who have taken the reins of power in these three countries, they have been the old guards. You can look at the ages of these certain presidents in East Africa. You can tell that they are safeguarding the old guards there. And I think this is a revolution which is coming. You saw it also in other countries near East Asia, in Asia, I mean, with the Nepal and Bangladesh. I think this is something that is coming. The population in the world now is tendering to be on the young, and they are trying to look for a footing in the political center stage, and in activist kind of thought center stage. So I think Museveni is one of the longest, I think, serving dictators in East Africa, and he is feeling the heat of the young people, because the young people are clearly telling him that now your time as a president and your time as with the ruling, with the firm hand or the firm iron fist is about to end, because we are tired and we want as young people to take the mantle and the leadership of the country. So about Kenya-Uganda relationship, it will not get any easier, because why do Kenyan government tell us not to enter into politics, but we can see certain government officials going to campaign in broad daylight for Uganda President Museveni. So you see, there is so much double standard in the Kenyan government in what they are doing in their foreign affairs, agenda. It is such a shame that the foreign affairs agenda in Kenya has become too political. It has been politicized. It's supposed to be working for Kenyans all through, but now I think when you are seen, you are supporting Museveni, you will not be touched, and even in the Uganda authorities, shikwa. So about Uganda and Kenya, it is getting thicker, because we are entering to December. It will be the last stretch of Ugandan campaign before they enter for the general election in 15th January 2026. Okay, I also want to go to the question you asked about ODM. ODM and Joho saying that he's not going to be at a tissue, and it's better he break up the party if he sees that come and buy. I think Joho is talking with the Mimi as the CS. He's still trying to defend his work. Anajaribu to defend his job. And Joho, one thing is he has mastered. He's mastering the politics of being a kingpin in a certain region. And I'm seeing he's trying to mobilize his own backyard so that he can become a kingpin of sorts in coastal region, so that he can try to kutishia in the ODM party. And I think this one will be having so much ramifications in ODM, because ODM now is very fragile. You can see it is very fragile. If anybody will come with certain comments, I think it will initially break ODM, because if you see the comment of Alai almost broke certain ilitaka kukata chungwa kwa pande ya juu. Uliona ilitaka kukata chungwa piece kidogo pale juu, because Millie Odhiambo came in full force. And I think this talking and reckless talking by the likes of Akina Joho and Kaluma, because Kaluma also is talking very recklessly. I saw him also today talking very recklessly, and the likes of Akina Robert Arai. I think it will be it will bring cracks in. Already the cracks are there. I think it will split the party if they are not checked well. I think the neck of the party should take control of this. I don't know what the neck part of the party is doing, but they're supposed to take the pilot seat. Now wajaribu kustia this party to a place where it is not going to have cracks. But as long as money is changing hands, brother Mark, I think that is where everything is going haywire. I see like a place where in ODM the money that has been poured to try and destabilize ODM as a party is really working. So for ODM, we are going to see things as they pan out. We said we are just giving them an eye. Maybe even after the by-elections, we are going to see what will happen. I've not seen even a place where they have gone to do the by-elections as a unit, because that is what I was waiting for. They are supposed to be doing the by-elections campaign as a whole unit ODM, because Baba left us, but they are supposed to be doing it for Baba and showing that they are united and they can be able to campaign for the candidate that Baba had previously said that he's going to stand with. So we are going to see as things goes by. For the security bill, the cyber crime bill, brother, this one is touching everybody because it touches on the democracy fabric of the country. If you are told that you cannot air your thoughts with the way you think in your gadget, and you are the one who bought the gadget, you bought the mobile, you bought the laptop, you bought the tablet, you cannot air your thoughts in your and the account, the media account is yours. I think this one shows the height of us going back to the old model constitution. It is showing that and it's such a shame that certain members of parliament, after the long stride we have made in this country, even the 2010 constitution, that we can be taken to the dark horrors of the 1990s, 1980s, 1990s, where somebody could talk something about anything, he could be jailed. So many people lost their lives, and so many people bled because of the change of the constitution and for the democracy of this country. And I would not like us to go back to such a kind of eras where I think even the blood which was spilled is still crying out. How can you be able to bring a security bill that is going to kandamiza people when when we know the only tool or the only weapon that the citizens have is their voice. The citizens don't have guns, they don't have anything they can fight themselves with. The only tool they can use is a mobile phone and tell the government what is going wrong and what is not right. I think even this security bill will not be used. Kenya, we like to come with bills and say, this bill will be used to itatusaidia. But brother Mark, you clearly see that the bill will be used in political to settle political scores, and that is the problem. It will settle political scores for the people who are not supporting the government. So you can think maybe this bill is good for you at this time, but I remember our good, it's called our good high advocate, and governor Orengo had told people in parliament that right now you can be happy that it is happening to yourselves, but when it happens to you is when you know. Alikuwa anasema kuhusu vifaranga, anasema serikali inakula, I think I don't remember the words correctly, but he says serikali inakula watu wawe. So at this time you can feel very happy that the politicians and certain people who are supporting that bill can feel happy that it is on their side, but when it turns on their side is when they feel the full wrath. So this cyber crimes bill, me, I don't support it even a bit, because it is going to come and kandamize us even in using our social media space, and they are going to try even to close certain aspects of the social media where people, and not only for us as citizens, even the people who have podcasts. Kuna watu wako na podcast, they talk about politics like these ones we talk. It means we are going to be held our tongue, that we cannot be able to say what we think and air our thoughts, and it shows that we are going to a very dark era if we try to to limit our freedom of speech. And I think this one is coming also at a very dangerous presence when we are going for a general election. So it means that when we have a general election and maybe somebody sees things that are not doing well in the election, the general election, maybe malpractices in the general election, watakukujia because you are just there in you are just showing the truth in the ground. I think this one is it's taking us to a very dark era, and I don't think people are going to accept this. This one will not happen in Kenya. I think we are done with that past regime and past time that we were in the dark. So for my last comments, Brother Mark, I have tried to come here and try to hear my views, and I hope that Kenyans are going to stick together and not allow this kind of politicians to be able to spoil our constitution, which has been almost perfect to the way it has been able to express our democracy and our freedom of expression. So I would like Kenyans to hold hands and say, no, we are not going to accept this kind of taking us to the KANU back era. No, it's not supposed to happen. For the by-elections, we are going to still watch them as they come. I know the Mbeere one, the Malava one are very highly contested, and we are going to see within the weekend, because the weekend, I think, is going to be a bit fiery as we close down to the last 3 days of before they go to the ballot for the by-elections. So I thank all the people who have been here with us. Father Dan, good here. I want to thank Meet Life. I want to thank all the people who have been with us. Laban. I want to thank. I saw another person here. The name was Jackson. I want to thank Jackson for being with us here. I think I'm not leaving anyone out. I think I've mentioned the people who are here. I want to thank you, Brother Mark, for always being here with us. And we have been here giving people our kind of views. And I like people how they take it. They take it well, or sometimes we argue, but in all the rest, we come together and build our nation. I want to thank also Brother Miguda and Brother Benson for giving us the platform. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, a good friend, Brother Joseph. And thank you for finding time to be with us and for also giving us your take. We really appreciate. Not forgetting our viewers. I can see good here. Thank you so much. Me, is it life or what? Thank you so much for finding time to be with us. A good friend, Dan. Darium, thank you so much. I saw Judith. Thank you so much for finding time to be with us and for giving us your take. And for everyone who joined us today, we really appreciate it. This is Brother Benson Media. And over here, we say that your opinion counts. We really appreciate just you taking your time to join and to give us your comment. Today, I can see we had a very interactive team led by Brother Dan Daria, of course, and Goodyear together with me live. Dan here is saying Kenyan presidents can be rated number 1, Jomo, greed and power, and 2, Moi, power and statehood, Kibaki, power and deception, Uhuru, power and leisure, Ruto, all the above, and extreme greed. Okay.
I think I can comment on that one, Brother Mark. I
Please
think if you can all do the summary of that, you can see the only thing that is common there is power and greed.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so thank you so much, good dear. Thank you so much, me, thank you so much, and everyone who joined us, we really appreciate. Just remind you that this is Brother Benson Mania, and over here we do say that your opinion counts. Allow me to acknowledge Oiko Jacob, thank you so much. John Ogada, thank you so much. Austin Okumu, Donald Kimaya, Wallace Amolo, Grant, Brenda Obedi, Winnie Sunday, and everyone, thank you so much. We really appreciate. If you're new, kindly like and subscribe. Over here, we say that your opinion counts. You can support us by simply liking and as well subscription. If you do so, sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. I want to now, I was forgetting our good friend Laban Misiani. Thank you so much for also finding time and giving us your take. We really appreciate. I just now want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you and to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow.